What are you doing, beloved?
Attention, attention, my black brothers. What I want y'all to do right now is take out the do-rag, the silky, tie it down. I want to see the waves glistening. If you got nappy hair, pick it. Don't let nobody discourage you.
Ariel.
Black boy, black boy.
So are you guys binging anything right now?
I want to see what Reece. I want to know what Reece is watching. I'm curious.
He's always watching something interesting.
I literally just finished Lovecraft.
Yay!
It's a bit late.
Yes, I didn't
It's a
even
bit
know you
late.
were watching it.
Yeah.
Did you binge it? Or did you watch it while I was on, or did you binge it afterwards?
Well, I think I was up to the season finale the day it came out, so I just found it perfectly. So yeah.
Yes. I watch a shit ton of shows, but I am currently watching The Parkers. I'm binging The Parkers. And then I'm also watching this show called Hannah, and it's on Amazon Prime. So it's basically about this girl that was kidnapped at a young age and raised to be an assassin. And she gets accustomed back into the world, and she goes after the people that the bosses of this government system. It's all types of things. So I'm binge watching that, and then I am finishing up The Boys. So The Boys is on Amazon, about superheroes, and then a group of people that are trying to get rid of them because they're not great superheroes behind closed doors. So I am watching those things.
First of all, I want to apologize for the background noise because somebody's absolutely cutting grass outside.
We don't hear it.
Our paper again. I did.
Oh.
Anyway, I am streaming The Real Housewives of Potomac. I started with season 2 instead of season 1 because they had irritated the fuck out of me in season 1. I will never forget that. They were just very classist and egregious.
Oh yeah.
So I'm on season 4. I took a break because it's just so good. I just didn't want it to be over. And I'm binging Half and Half because the theme song is so good. And actually, it's one of the best shows that was on UPN. There are really nice nuances in the characters that both like each other and don't like each other. Sucks. I remember loving her when I was a kid because I was like, oh, she's the underdog. But she's a negative ass bitch, and I'm tired of that.
Mona was the curly haired one.
Yeah, I really like Rachel True. She's so cute, and I do remember being 6 or 7 years old, and I think it was 7, and I was like, oh, I understand what that feels like to get the short end of the stick, but god damn, girl, ooh. Did something good happen to you? Did you smile today? Did the sun come out?
Yeah. I've not started. Well, I've not watched. I haven't even just started it. I started 1-on-1, but I'm saying, Deborah, you got to slow down.
I had to take a break on that one because I already know how I'm about to be on it.
Do you know what show they should bring back, y'all?
What's that?
Eve. They should put it on. They should put it on UPN. Evie. Oh, they should put that on Netflix. She said that she got. I think they canceled it because she was not showing up on time and all that.
Well, now she's on the white people show, so I hope she's on time for that.
Yes. But what is up, everybody? It is your boy, lordevery.
And I'm derwinking.
And welcome back to another episode of That Black Boy Joy, where we create space where black boys can be themselves and
so much more.
So much more. Hey! Y'all, we have a guest on the show with us. We have our good friend Reece, our good Judy on the show with us today. How are you? What's going on?
I'm good. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Debbie has been wanting to get you on here for quite some time. We have been talking about this for over a year.
You have been when we started to get guests on the show, you were on the first batch. But however, we just had we had a lot of stuff going on. And I was like, when we come back, we need Reece. Okay?
Yes.
We need Reece.
Exciting.
That is literally not a lie. He has been talking about it for so long.
But I'm glad we're here.
It was, and I knew it was never about trying to organize getting Reece on here because he's pretty flexible about most things.
Yes.
Not very strict. So it was literally about the time and our schedule.
Yeah.
So wanted to ask you, because we asked all of our guests this question, what does Black Boy Joy mean to you?
Well, I feel like I only found out what that was like pretty recently into coming to the country. Like Devin has been a great teacher for me. Just being, comfortable in yourself, pride, joy, of course. Feel a lot of black boy joy when me, Devin, and Omar will be used to like go out in the club and we're just dancing, having a good time.
Did you hear that? Used to.
Yeah,
used to. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad you like said that like you didn't know what that was before coming to the country, because that's why we want you on the show this episode. We want to talk about being black in other countries and also like coming to the States and things of that nature. So just like what that looks like cross countries and continents and things of that nature.
He's not just foreign, honey. He is transcontinental.
He's transcontinental. Like, girl is moving and grooving, as you all can tell by the accent as well.
Yeah.
We really wanted to talk about that. So that was the reason why I wanted you on the show. Not to be like, let's expose him. No, it was simply wanted to know your experience. So I actually appreciate you even saying like not knowing what that looks like, not knowing what that was before coming to the States, because I want to unpack that. But Devin.
Yes, so let's get started with our Black Boy Joy Spotlight. It goes out to Hari Zayed, author, artist, speaker, and screenwriter. They actually just came out with a book. It's called Black Boy Out of Time. Really impressive resume, actually. Also editor-in-chief of Erase Bader. Recently, at least has announced that they're going to be the 2021 Lambda Literary Fellow. You can see their work on The Guardian, Huffington Post, Ebony, Mike, Paste Magazine, and Afropunk. I'm actually like really excited because apparently, they're also a script consultant on David Makes Man, which Devry really loves.
It's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. If it's not back already, it is coming back season 2. So I was really super excited that they were a part of the whole show.
I haven't finished that first season yet, but I had gotten to the episode, what is her name? Really, really love her face. Trans woman. She was on Transparent.
Yeah, because she was wasn't she the, I think, sex worker?
Yes, she was a sex worker. She also had like I don't want to call them a harem of children, but she had a whole community there. And one of the kids, I think his name was Star, was going to the same place that David was going to. So she told them to ride together. But awesome work. So, Hari says that they are informed by their passion for storytelling, wrestling identity. They're a Cleveland, Ohio-born Black, non-binary child of Muslim and Hindu parents. So we've got a lot of identities up here, a lot of different parts to inform their journey. So I want you guys to keep a lookout for them, because obviously great things are coming.
Yes, I'm super excited about the book. Excuse me. I'm super excited about the book. I'm like, I need to read a book. I need more books about queer kids, queer people, just queer things in general.
We've got how many we have now?
We gonna talk about this, but like later on too. But like, there's B-Boy Blues.
Is that going to be a show?
It's going to be a movie. And we're going to talk about that more. But shout out to Samson McCormick. But we are going to definitely.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yes.
Is this the project?
Yes. We're going to try to get him back, y'all. And
I was going to say, first of all, I was so happy because I know for facts that is the show the movie he was hinting at when he was on that Black Boy Joy last season.
Yeah.
So shout out to the girls for having little hints, little inside scoops, honey.
Yes, but continue.
Let's jump into our hot topics for the day. So first of all, Ariana Grande single Positions drops tonight. She tweeted that it was going to come out tomorrow night yesterday.
Yep.
And so I thought it was going to come out I think she said tonight yesterday. So I thought it was going to be out last night, but it's not going to be out until tonight. And Ariana keeps playing in my fucking face because she posted a link to the video today 11 hours early. She literally posted the link and it said premiere in 11 hours. And I'm like, Ariana, why do you think that is appropriate? You obviously know we're excited about it. Either give me the shit now or wait like an hour beforehand. Stop playing in my motherfucking face. I'm at work.
Reece, do you stan? Are you a fan? Either. So here's my thing. It's either people hate Ariana or love her. Do you? What's your spectrum? What's your thoughts?
I feel like I wasn't really checking for her until like Devin showed me, some of her best. What he thinks is the best. I do enjoy her a lot.
Yes.
But yeah, lately I haven't listened to her, but I'm excited to see what she comes up with.
Yep, she got it. Come on, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm predicting, y'all. This is R&B.
Yes, R&B.
This is R&B. I'm gasping, y'all. I have been excited. I watched all my favorite songs last night. So yes, I'm super excited.
I wanted to say, did I forget that quickly? Oh, they said this is going to be a nasty album. Now, I don't know if you saw the little fake track list that they had come out with, but I obviously know that's not it. But there are reports that this will be her sexiest album yet. But people think that means she ought to be talking about patting her clit and shit, and I just don't see it happening. Ariana is not Trina. She's not.
She's not.
I don't see her doing all of that.
I can see her just talking about just sex more, my legs open, just say I like my legs open, I like them when they go down. Oh, come on.
Earlier, what was it, Sweetener? She said something about eating it, and so it's she just gets closer and closer to talking about sex more. But I highly doubt we're gonna get 2 Live Crew raunchy in this bitch. It's just
she still got little girls that listen to her, so she and she got these big gays. She got little girls and big gays.
Somebody said, I'm pretty sure that the majority of her fans are 25-year-old gay men, and I was like,
I'm 26.
Oh my God. It's goddamn, red me. I am literally the demographic.
I am too. We're excited. Looking forward. Friday, come on. And then next week, the album.
I've been to see online that the girls are fawning over Tyler Perry. So he posted, I don't know if you know about this, Reece, because you're usually on Instagram and they're usually 3 days behind.
Yes.
Tyler Perry posted a picture of him in these dark gray sweatpants and this full beard. And he was looking hella trade. It was really really masculine. And so the girls were this is the women and the men. They were really talking about how sexy he is. They were zooming in on the sweatpants, which felt wildly inappropriate to me because I've been aware of Tyler Perry since I was 8 and maybe even 7. No, way earlier than that, got to be.
Yeah.
So I almost see him as a father figure.
See him as an uncle. I don't say father.
Okay.
But
better, more appropriate. I see him as an uncle. And so I am not capable of being attracted to him. And I was really intrigued by everyone else's ability to do so. But hey, that's your Jewish.
Yeah, everybody was yes to him, and then they started to also talk about the guy that wrote Blackish. Blackish as well. I think his name was Kenya
Barris.
Kenya Barris. They was y'all sleeping on Kenya Barris. I was oh. So yeah. Next case.
Totally. And on a morbid note, the COVID numbers are steadily rising. Each day it's an extra 1,000 or 2,000 people who have died in this country. I was looking at the statistics the other day, and we are, I think, the highest of new cases. And if we aren't, then India is. India's numbers are ridiculous. They're just, but I'm pretty sure we are the highest of new cases. And obviously, we haven't done anything that we're supposed to do regarding it. I'm looking, and there are countries that have not had any new cases at all in a very long time. Some of them are smaller, and some of them are not smaller. Some of them have 3 new cases or period. And it's damn, all we had to do was stay in the motherfucking house and put masks on. And we were just super anti that.
I mean, number 45 just doesn't believe in this shit either. He's over here doing whatever. He's cut an interview short when people ask him these questions. So,
oh my God.
We ain't going out. We ain't coming back. We ain't coming back no time soon, y'all.
Honey, and honestly, it's a shame because dead ass, a lot of people have moved on. I said, well, is it still a damn pandemic if it's just us at this point? But there are still other countries.
Yeah. I don't know. People are moving like ain't nothing wrong. Like clubs are still functioning.
Yeah. Oh my God, Atlanta, the girls are still fighting in the streets and they're still partying.
They said the OnlyFans girls fighting.
Girl, the OnlyFans girl. You know what? I will never, ever, ever, ever take back what I said about the Atlanta gays. You know what? They're funny and all. Slightly tacky, but you know, they're very often very professional, which is great. But those OnlyFans girls and the rest of the club girls, they just be fighting every opportunity they get. I'm like, do y'all ever just enjoy each other? Smile, kiki, like, damn, do y'all all just really hate each other that damn much? It was JD Blackstone and some little girl that I don't think
wait, he was the one I was fighting?
Yeah, girl. And he was defending because you know he and Cash De Niro. These are these
porn
are
stars,
just so y'all know.
Fuck out of here. These are porn stars.
He and Cash De Niro are really good friends. And you know, Cash used to date Rico Pruitt. They broke up a couple months ago, and that was ugly. So Rico's man, or one of his two, because he's in a throuple, was fighting JD Blackstone. So JD got the best of him the first time. Even though I'm judging these people, I very clearly watched both fight videos. So
you did. You watched them. You was watching it.
So they were on live because you know this is on my timeline. They were on live arguing this morning, and so they met up today and fought again. And I was just like, y'all just don't have therapists.
They don't. Next case. Look, next case.
So awful things are happening in Nigeria right now. I know you guys have probably seen the hashtag #EndSARS, which stands for Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which I imagine was originally supposed to be to help police the people in a helpful way.
Help with robbery and all that stuff.
They've been comparing it to like how our police system used to be slave patrol, so that, you know, obviously transforming the name of something isn't going to change the actual system of it. So people have been protesting and they've been like full on murdering them. I saw this is a really eerie thing. A guy was like, SARS will not end me, and then, or SARS will not end me, and then like 3 hours later he was gone.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like just like seeing what's happening. Like I'm just like, damn. Like they opened fire on these protesters. Like fuck out of here. Like,
and we
really?
thought our shit was bad. Like we thought that when the protests broke out in June, that our country was, and I mean they was attacking us, but like obviously no fucks are given over in Nigeria regarding the safety of civilians, because I don't even really want to like describe it, but there was a person hanging over a fire, like as if they were roasting a motherfucking like bird. Oh girl. Anyway, keep your prayers for Nigeria. I did want to mention that Tiwa Savage had made a video like a week or two ago calling out Beyonce for not saying anything, which certainly frustrated Beyonce's fans as well as myself. I'm not gonna lie, I was also frustrated. God. Yeah, she was like, I don't care if this gets me blackballed. I guess she was saying, you know, Beyonce has a large platform, so she wanted her to speak on it, but Beyonce has never been quick to speak on anything. She always takes her time. I think she usually tries to find out, because saying something isn't enough, right? She usually tries to figure out who to promote so that you can funnel your donations to.
On the
she
resources.
Wants to get the facts. Like, you know, she just doesn't quickly respond to things. I mean, we all only recently in the last week or so figured out what was going on. Like I saw the hashtag and it wasn't big enough for me to like pay attention to.
And they have been protesting for like 2 weeks, 2 weeks about it. Yeah. So
I mean, so Beyonce finally made a statement. Her mama, this ain't funny. Mama Tina was like, instead of being a couch activist, like, oh, she's shading Tiwa. She might have, but you know what? You don't come from Mama Tina's kids. That's one thing you're not about to do, and I don't blame her.
And you also, like, my thing about it is like I would assume that you have a connection because you were a part of her most recent project, that you could have said something behind closed doors, and y'all could have came together to come up with some resources.
Right.
I don't agree with you. Beyonce, it's like, girl, it's like you work with me. You could have at least some respect to hit me up personally.
She could. There's more access to. Beyonce has a whole team of people who work in initiatives, and like, so there's a whole person, a whole connect that she could have reached out to, who handles Beyonce's nonprofit, like community, what is it called, community building part of her brand. So she could have reached out to her directly. Her name is like Ivy or something, or the project is Ivy, of course. So it's not difficult to figure out how to work that out. I'm not entirely sure why Tiwa thought it was appropriate to get on her live and say something, but now a lot of people who have Nigerian roots are like, I don't want to see Beyonce capitalizing off of African, music or art or culture anymore. And I was just like, you know what? Y'all need to direct that energy to where it belongs. That's all I'm gonna say on here.
Next case.
Right on time. What did you guys think of the Lovecraft finale?
Oof.
Loved it. It was emotional. Specifically, just yes, like I don't want to spoil shit, but like the climax to me, like leading up to everything, I was just like, oh my God, like, is this really happening? Like what's happening? I do like how the turnaround, like at the end. Should I like spoil it? I'm like,
well, first of all, were you surprised by the ending?
Yes,
Why?
I was surprised.
They told us the entire show what was going to happen.
I know,
literally every step of the way.
I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that was happening then. Like I thought that was going to happen like sometime else. I didn't think it was going to happen so soon.
Maya Angelou told you when a person shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe it, girl.
They told you repeatedly that Tick was going to die.
Okay, boom. He said it. So yeah, I just was bothered by that because like I feel like there should have been a power to bring him back. All these damn magic spells and stones that y'all was throwing up in this bitch. How Letty could not die. Worth shit. How they brought this girl back to life. They should have been able to bring Tick back. But did we want Tick to come back to life?
I mean, look, I thought, you know what? And he was prepared. It wasn't like it was a complete shock. And it wasn't like he didn't think he was going to die. When he was in that realm that his ancestors live in, they told him that he was going to die and that, this is what he had to do to protect his family. They told her, his mother, I think, told him that, right?
Yeah. People told him he's going to die.
He said, Mommy, I don't want to die. I'm not ready. And she's like, I know, but, this is
going to happen. You got to sacrifice yourself.
That was it.
Yeah, I did like the part with Diane, too. Because there was also somebody said that, like, so he went to the future and somebody with the right arm that was like cyborg-ish gave him the book. And I'm like, it was Diane. Yes, it was Diane who gave him the book when he went into the future. Now she up here running dinosaurs and shit. I'm running monsters and shit. I'm over here like, I love it. Do y'all think? Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
You about to go? I was about to go into something else, but Christina, go into that bitch.
Christina. So two things. I really enjoyed her character because we called her an anti-hero, and I think that was true. We did expect her to turn on them. That was clearly going to happen, but she facilitated their journey the entire way. And I don't want to overlook the fact that even though she killed Ruby or probably killed Ruby, I
think she's alive.
I think she is too.
In a coma.
And she did not do. She did what she told Ruby she was going to do. She protected Letty. She said, I promised her that I wasn't going to kill you. And she didn't.
Yeah. She pushed her. She pushed it out. She pushed her. Yeah.
She survived.
Do you all think that there will be a second series?
I don't
season 2?
I don't need it. But I do like Hippolyta, and I would like to see more of her.
Wait, Reece, you said you believe so. Come on, let's
I feel like they will, because it's like they've curated a cool world, and I feel like they can get more from it. I know I would like to see more, probably no matter what it is. Yeah.
What would you like to see?
Yeah.
I would like to explore more of like Hippolyta's like realm jumping. That was a really cool idea.
That was. We didn't get to. She came back, and I just was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, she just showing up? Like, girl, you was just on a whole journey.
She really is the best character.
Yeah. I want to also see, if they come back, I want to see Diane develop more. I want to get more of her. We got one episode of her, but I definitely want to see her develop into herself, and also like have this like arm and get control of this damn dog. Would love to see that. Would love to.
Oh my God, so cute.
Yeah, girl, cute.
I loved that. Well, it's not cute, but the relationship between Dee and I don't even know what the hell you're gonna call that little monster.
I don't know.
That was nice.
And then also like what happened with Ruby. I am definitely curious about that. And then also, I feel like there should be some things happening where they're trying to bring back Tick. They're trying it, but then they realize they can't because, like you said, like shit, like he had to die. So I feel like that should Letty should. I want to see Letty and her and his father go on like a trip to like try to bring him back. But they all have power. Black people have powers now, so like I want to tap into what that is, and like a season where Black people are abusing the privilege of all these powers, and like they have to stop it. See, I'm sci-fi.
I
Put me in the writer's room.
loved that part that they had stripped white people of the ability to use magic. I thought that was one of the best head nods to both Black spirituality and Black roots in supernatural things, and this thing that I've been saying to myself that belongs to us in the first place. And I have always thought that. I have truly, I mean, like those are the sort of things that we were stripped away from when we were brought here in the transatlantic slave trade. So our culture stripped away from us, and we were taught that Vodun was, evil, and any of the practices we did that were non-Christian or non-Catholic were like demonic.
I like voodoo. Bring back the Black voodoo, bitch. I need some of that.
Witch doctor.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes, as Jeffrey would say, of our episode today.
Why we are here.
Yes, honey. So I just want to introduce my good Judy, Reece. So we've been friends for about 3 years, and you're coming up on your 4th anniversary of being here, right?
Yep. January 20. Next year will be 4 years.
Is that like to the States, or is that to like?
Yeah, that's like the day I touched down in DC. Yeah.
Oh, so you came right here. Okay, got it.
Oh, well, like from Sydney to LAX to DC.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I know that you had
all that.
Yeah. You had some stops. Yeah. I'm talking about like you. I didn't know that you first like lived here. I thought like you lived somewhere else and then moved. But that's really cool.
No.
I think we met in June or July of 2017, and developed a really, really great friendship. And how many people did you know when I met you?
I mean, not a lot here. I was just kind of like chilling with my family, my cousins. I think wasn't sure if I had my first job at that time here with like Urban. Maybe.
Okay. You were working at Urban and what's the other place?
Tilly's, but I did like 2 shifts there. Yeah.
Tilly's, the skateboarding shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember you like not caring for that one very much.
No. It was like Fredericksburg was like, a customer a day down there.
Which I was living in Fredericksburg at the time. So over the last 4 years, we've gotten a chance to develop a really, really beautiful friendship. We've got lots of stories since then.
Yeah.
So we want to get a little bit of an idea of the compare and contrast of your experiences in Australia and in the United States, and also how that relates to your identity, because it's one thing to just be a person, a white person, one place, and then go to another place, and you're not necessarily, and gay, by the way, and you're not necessarily experiencing life through any other isms, but you've got a multifaceted identity, multi-layered. What's the word we use?
I couldn't figure out. I was trying to think about what it is when like you have a lot of intersectionality.
Yes,
that's good.
Honey.
That's good.
So the intersection of your identity, and then mixing that in with your transcontinentalness. Made that word up, absolutely. So we'll go ahead and start in with our questions. So we first like to know, or originally, what it was like for you to grow up as a biracial kid, Black father, white mother, and your mother is Australian, your father is from the United States.
It's interesting. When I was born, I actually did come to live here for a year when I was a baby. But then it wasn't working out for my parents. So then mom took me back to Australia. We lived in a pretty like, a lot of different cultures where we lived. So like there were definitely like brown people around. A but yeah, no one, maybe like one or two other black people, very rare around this area.
What do you mean when you say brown people then?
Like specifically where these people are from, or?
Is there a particular group of people, like a dominant brown people in Australia if they weren't black?
If they weren't Aboriginal, they were probably a lot of like Lebanese. I found a lot of Asian people from, you know, different areas. Mainly, and of course a lot of like Torres Strait Islanders, Polynesian. Yeah. So I wasn't like just surrounded by white people. It's like not Australia. Not in Australia anyway.
So it was like diverse, like where you were at. It was just like it was like a melting pot essentially. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Very that. Yeah, that was like my early years, and then my like high school career, that was a lot more white because we moved like an hour and a half west of Sydney, the main city where I grew up. And it's like in the mountains, so it was very, very white, Catholic, private school. So yes, that's when things got interesting. It was a time like I feel like I wasn't so self-aware then at all. So there was other people coming to me and telling me like it just made me feel different. If you understand me. Yeah. So like I remember I had this friend, and I was like, I'll never forget, because she just come up to me and goes, "What race are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm Australian." Like,
I'm Australian. Aware of race.
I was like, I guess a little bit. Like I was always, my mom always told me like, "Oh yeah, you're African American, like you're half African American." But then when I get here, my dad and like family, they don't identify as like African American.
Why?
Because they're Caribbean, like
that tends to
Belize. Yeah.
My stepmother says the same thing. She's from Trinidad.
Right. And like dad only came over to the States when he was like 12 or something. So he doesn't, but yeah, I feel like, I wasn't really aware of race, and like, wasn't aware of how people perceived me until I got a little older. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just mostly like everyone else, but it wasn't the case.
So how was that for you? Like you coming from a space where you really weren't like, you didn't think about race that much, then coming to like the States where your identity is the first thing that people are questioning. Like how did that correlate? Like, was it hard for you to like interact? Was it like people I'm just curious about that.
I wouldn't say it was hard for me to interact with people, but I feel like it was quite a shock, like culture shock. I feel like it's very racialized here, and then I've become racialized as a result. Yeah.
But you came at the beginning of the Trump administration.
Literally, his inauguration, I touched down in DC. Like,
no way.
Yeah. I got off the plane, and they're like red hats. I'm like, what's this about? Like, yeah.
What an introduction.
I remember asking Dad about it, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, there's stuff going on," and I'm like, "Okay,
it's some shit happening over here. We just need to get you where we need to get you, and then we will dive into that later."
I'm sorry that your first 4 years here have been under this administration. That's sad, huh?
You haven't known. I didn't get to know in Obama America, unfortunately. Yeah.
So, I wanted to know, did your awareness or your eventual awareness of your Blackness affect your relationship with your peers at all?
Peers in Australia? Or I believe so, because I remember my attitude changing a little bit. Because when I was younger, like I remember a couple of my guy friends come, "Oh, do you mind if I say the N-word?" And I'm like, I don't say it. Yeah. And I didn't really know like the effect it had on people then.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, like, sure, say it, just don't use it like to like offend me, not knowing anything. Like I was a baby.
Yeah.
And then like, I remember when I went back in September in 2018, some friends just kind of casually threw it in there, like white friends, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah, we're not doing that anymore." Like,
you felt it. You were like back
right,
then. You're like, it's whatever. But then coming to the States and understanding how people felt about the word, and then going back, you're like, I don't feel the same way I did.
No.
You know what's interesting about that is like they're not asking each other if they can say that. Like, what is it about? Why do you want to say it around a Black person? Like, it isn't even like you needed my permission to say it when you were on your own. So why do you want my permission to say it in front of my face? Like, what is it about being around a Black person that makes you want to say nigga?
They don't want you to feel uncomfortable. Why do
you even want to say it around me that you have to ask? Like, why? You
it's
are
so
probably
cool.
going to do it when you're with your friends. Why do you want to say it around me?
They want to say it because it's cool to them.
I guess they want Black people to see them as cool.
They want to be like,
they want to seem down.
You stay up. Just stay up.
Stay up. Don't give up that butt. So, what are the major differences between Australia and the United States that you've noticed?
I feel like I've said this to you before, Devin.
But you didn't say it to the listeners.
No, I didn't. But I feel like America is just like so into themselves, like culturally. So like in Australia, we get a lot of media and culture just from everywhere. A lot of it is American. There is, of course, like a pride in like Australian culture, TV, movies, art, and all that. But I feel like we're just so blasted with like American media, like movies especially. But like Americans are so like, I don't know if it's like the patriotism, but they're just like so into consuming their own culture a lot, and they enjoy it a lot, which is, you know, it can be nice if it's good culture. But that kind of threw me when I got here. I don't know, the landscape from what I've seen, I did a little bit of traveling when I first got here. Very different. I did, in my first year, I went to Coachella with one of my good friends from Australia. So we basically did like a West Coast trip, LA, San Fran, and then down south near, so Palm Springs, and done New York with Devin. I've done the Carolinas.
Ooh.
So yeah, I feel like I've seen probably more of America than a lot of like the friends I've made here. They keep telling me.
When you said that Americans are like so into themselves, it made me think. So I watched Emily in Paris, and essentially it's this girl from Chicago who moves to Paris to work for a marketing firm out there, and while she's there, everything is compared to America. And I get it because she's from America, but like it didn't feel like she was trying to grow accustomed to Paris. She was just saying, like, for example, she said in Paris that the first floor is not called the first floor, it's called like the ground. And she was so pissed off by that. She was like, why is it that? It doesn't make sense. And it's like, you have to grow accustomed to these things. You know, like, I guess on the show, people don't show up on time to work or things of that nature. They show up whenever they're comfortable, or like work is not, I don't know. It's like, you know, I don't know if that's true or not. But she was just so adamant
for European countries.
Right. She was just so irritated by that. And then like when she finally got American food or talked to an American, she just was like, oh my God, like, aren't you all just frustrated? I'm like, girl, you came to Paris.
I know, you and they home.
You gotta come. So it's interesting because like I can see that happening to Americans doing that, being so conceited, but it's like I feel like you should like embrace, or when you go to another country or when you're in a space, you should like be just so observant of how the culture is instead of just being like, well, in America, it's like, then go back. America is this amazing, then stay. So that's interesting. I can
one of the critiques of the show that I saw on Twitter too, that they were just like, she was really trying to mold her experience like into this American thing versus rolling with for Parisian culture. Is she in Paris?
Yeah, she's in Paris because it was even a scene where like there was like over like a girl was being like over sexualized, or she was being like she was being sexualized, and she was like, well, in America that wouldn't work.
That's
She's like
French.
that. She's like, that's not in America. They won't fly. But she's like, well, in the UK, I mean, in France, it doesn't matter. Like she's owning her body, so it was like she was trying to get like in the States. It was always her argument was, well, in the States. So I didn't want to talk about that too much because Reese. But yeah, that correlation is so like
I say that. Yeah.
and I'm like, wow. Do you
have
go
any
back?
other differences? Oh,
No, yeah.
did you want to list any other differences you've experienced?
I feel like the seasons here are so like it's that season. Like it doesn't really like it gets cold in Australia, but it doesn't really snow where I grew up or lived. So that was wild seeing snow for maybe like the second time in my life. It's just and then like fall, like I love fall here. Because y'all have the trees for it. We don't really.
Yeah. Do you go home a lot, or do you miss home a lot?
I don't go home a lot. I remember at the start of the lockdown quarantine, Mom was like on the phone to me, and she's like, I think you should come home. I think you should come home. Like, what if they stop traveling? And I'm like, look, they're probably going to do that. Don't think it's a good idea.
Back.
Yeah, it probably wasn't a good idea for me to jump on a plane then.
I had to quarantine there.
Yeah.
You said you were gonna hit the quarantine there, weren't you? Like for 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah. So they've set up a thing. You in whatever city like you land in, they put you in a hotel for 2 weeks, and then you can you're free to roam.
I just have another question too. I don't know if it seems like this is too many questions in one, but like, what does like Black activism look like in the UK? I'm not the UK. What the hell? Think about it. Right. I've been wanting to say the UK, and I know in Australia, what does Black activism look like, and then also like the media's depiction of that. I'm just curious, like if you've seen that or what that looks like.
I feel like I wasn't too involved in a lot of activism while I was there. Yeah. From what I've seen, there's Black Australia, which is mainly Aboriginal people. When I was there, there's this area in Sydney called Redfern, and there's a lot of what they call Black housing. And it's where it's just kind of like cheap housing for Aboriginal people, but the Aboriginal people are like, why should we have to pay to live here when it's our land in the first place, kind of thing. Okay. And that's actually the first time I saw there was like a Black Lives Matter like banner there, and that's the first time I saw that those words on a placard.
What year was that?
It would have been 2015. That's 2015 really or 2016. Yeah. And it's like, it's for different people there, but it's funny how they're using it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope though. Like even like Black Lives Matter, like it can mean so many things, like even in Black Australia too. Black people in Australia. So that's interesting. So when you saw that, you was like, oh, all right, this is the first time you saw that. It's cool.
Yeah.
Not really seen it applied to African origin people, so that is actually really, really dope. I mean, because who was it? Andre 3000 maybe? Why is it that Black people in different parts of the world all experience like the same tragedy? That is not what he said. It was just I'm not even certain that it was
just threw those words out.
I don't
don't quote.
Yeah, don't quote me on that. So has the Trump administration, well, I guess it has, but what are some of the things that you wish you would have seen in this country outside of the Trump administration?
Like, how do you mean?
So I imagine, because you did say you didn't get a chance to see this country prior to Trump. So there are a couple of things, there are a lot of things that have changed because of that. Is there anything you think you probably would have enjoyed more or less if, well, I guess not, probably not less, but prior to Trump being our president?
I mean, it would have been cool to experience, I think it was a while ago, I'm not sure exactly the year, but it would have been cool to experience the marriage equality being finalized and that happening. What was that? Was that like 2014?
2011?
2011?
No, was it?
It was in college. I thought it was in college.
Mm.
I'm tripping there because I thought in college I heard that and I was like excited during the summer. I think 20.
Girl, then don't get me lying. Just let me look it up.
I don't listen. I'm not that. I'm not into politics, so they probably could have been talking about a whole document, and I would have been like, hell yeah. So,
Right.
I don't know, but wait,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God, that's
Marriage
interesting.
Equality Act was in 2011.
Yes,
okay.
Congratulations,
I remember
girl.
being in high school
Yeah.
and I didn't think it would matter to me because I wasn't entirely sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but you know what? Supreme Court declared same-sex marriage legal in all 50 states in 2015. So
Okay, that's what I was.
But the Marriage Equality Act was in 2011. That's what it is.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So I imagine like it would have been cool to just be a gay American then. Like that victory would have been cool. I imagine Pride would have been extra lit.
Yeah.
But you went to like the biggest fucking Pride. You went to World Pride. What,
I
2
did.
years
I
ago?
did.
How was that?
So great. That was really fun.
Where was that at? Look, I'm like, where was that at?
York.
What is?
New
Oh,
York.
child, I'm thinking it's somewhere like in another country. It's in the States. I'm
Was
like,
it
where was this at?
2018?
Barcelona?
Yeah, New York. No, that was really fun. Shout out to Omar.
Come on.
I was in like Vegas, so I didn't get a chance to go. But Vegas was cool.
Cute. How was being like biracial and gay in Australia? Do they have like clubs that are like specifically Black or things of that nature? Like, just
If they did, I did not find them.
Damn.
My Australian gay club experience was just a lot of white guys. Right, yeah. I worked on like one of the main gay streets in Sydney, Oxford Street. That's like the gay club strip. They were like a cute little venues. Like a lot of the hipster boys would open like little underground bars and like they play like cool 80s music. They were fun. I found myself enjoying the older crowds more than the guys my age. I feel like the music was always better instead of just like the uns stuff.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, not really a good space for Black and brown non-white gays. I did not find it.
So you experience a lot more of gay culture there than anything else?
Yes, so the gay culture was definitely there. I feel like we had our space. But yeah, it wasn't any from any non-white people. Yeah.
So when you came to the States, was it like a shock? Because I don't know, was your experience like completely different? Like coming here, like seeing gay? I don't know, like seeing just. Yeah. I just was curious, but yeah.
I believe it was. I remember enjoying Devin knows that I love Cobalt when that was open in DC.
Rest in peace, Coco.
Yeah. Yeah, I was mad. But I don't know. I liked how when I got there, I was like, wow, it's like so many Black people in here. I love it.
Cobalt was lit.
Oh, yeah. It was. But like it was mixed. It was definitely a mixed crowd. But like just because of my experience, I was like, there's just like so many beautiful Black people in here. And the music's dope. It was so hard to find like clubs that played rap and R&B and stuff like that. So,
wow. In Australia?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They'd have like random parties, but never like an actual club that played that kind of music. Yeah.
Did they have R&B and rap like artists that were like from Australia there?
Yeah, Aussie hip hop and rap. It's okay. It's not like really my cup of tea. There are a few artists that I like. Yeah, but they're pretty popular. Like I've asked around here, like nobody knows about them or anything. So I feel like I'd have to like link some people. But yeah, I'm not that into it.
They need to do what they do with K-pop, make that shit mainstream.
Because it's usually underground. Like people will be like, "Oh, I'm like," you'll find the cult of people who enjoy non-US music.
Right.
What has been the most frustrating part of being here and / the most frustrating experience you've had here? I want both of those.
So the most frustrating is people assuming where I'm from. I always get like British. Like I've had a girl come up to me like, "Oh my god, love your accent, it's so British," and I was like, "No." Right. And like it might just come down to like my grandparents are like from Manchester, England, so my real accent might be a little bit hybrid, but I feel like it's not too much, not enough to warrant like being mistaken for someone from the UK.
It just sounds like you just got money. That's probably why when you talk, I'm listening to you now. I'm like, what is his bank? What is his bank? What is how much money he got? It's okay. So I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I'm just fascinated by it. I think it's I don't know.
Why that's so funny to me.
Got many.
No, it just like it's like sophistication. I think it's just associated with the media. Like
right, definitely.
British and Australian accents, it just sounds way more sophisticated. So that's why I'm just like,
for sure. Yeah, like educated.
All right, read this book for me. So I can just hear the voice. But continue, Reece. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, no, that was definitely. And also, like, I feel like people hear me, but they're not listening to me, especially at work. I work in retail, H&M. So like I have to sign people up for our rewards. And I'll run through my whole little script that I have to say it and to get them to sign up. And then they'll be like, where are you from? And I'm like, I don't have time for this.
You want to take this H&M card or not?
Right. But yeah, I feel like they're listening to how I sound instead of what I'm saying, which can be quite frustrating. I have to repeat myself.
That's a double-edged sword, because you've talked to me about also like your accent being the thing that got you the job at Urban Dictionary, Urban Outfitters. So like on one hand, it's like the way like Devery sees it, like, oh, you got money, like people are instantly attracted to that and they want to give you opportunities. And then on the other hand, it's like, well, damn, now I'm being like, I'm
tokenized. You're essentially tokenized, and in that space, like I don't care what he is saying, it just sounds good, and that's the issue. Like I don't want you to just think what I'm saying sounds good, which I just named that, but it's what I'm saying that you all need to take into consideration as well. And I think that's some of the States. People just are fascinated with people that have accents, but don't. Okay, now listen to me and take me serious.
That's just like an African accent, then they're kind of like annoyed. And Indian accents too. We're not really great about those.
Yeah, people trash.
Most frustrating experience. Do you have a number one?
Nothing really comes to mind now. It's probably definitely one of those people just assuming where I'm from, I think. That's silly. This like, would you do this to like someone with an Asian accent or like Deborah was saying, like an Asian or Indian or even like Hispanic Latinx kind of.
Good question.
Right.
Honestly, I should have named those too. Like any non-European accent is really frowned upon, and then any European accent, people are like, where are you from?
I think it's also in the States.
Australian, sorry.
Yeah. And also in the States, from my experience, I have not encountered a lot of people with the European and Australian accents. So that's very fascinating to me to hear another accent that you only see on TV or you see in media, and you see somebody in it's an everyday person. Like to me, I'm fascinated with that because I'm like, I like learning and knowing that there is like, especially like you being biracial and gay, and like, what does that experience look like for you? My lights. Oh my god, I need to turn on the light. Like, what is that experience for you? Because like I've not like I've heard from people that are Latinx. I've heard from people that are like African. I've heard from people that are like I've heard people that are Indian speaking and things like that. But like I've not seen people from the UK in the States or Australia here too. And also people in the UK and Australia, I've assumed are very proud of where they come from. Like it is y'all. You are proud. You like this is us, and I love that as well. Like. The UK is definitely like one of my favorite places to like even like learn about too in Australia because it's just like all these it's like a whole nother world, but it like functions. It functions like not like America because look at that boom, but like the language you can understand. Oh shit, let me stop talking. But I'm starting to be like Emily in Paris. But yeah, it's just fascinating to me. I'm just like, wow.
Aussies are definitely proud of where they're from. There's like been this debate whether we have Australia Day. I guess it's like, you know, Americans' Independence Day. And there was like a petition to change the date because they don't want to celebrate Australia's founding on like where Black Australia was, you know, murdered and pillaged.
Yikes.
I didn't know
so
that.
they like,
oh my God. I gotta
so
research
like,
that.
Yeah, so me too, it's been a while. So yeah, they changed the date just to show like a little respect for that. Yeah. When like the colonizers came.
That's just like how we changed Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, I assume. Is that
okay.
Yeah, we did that recently. Not a lot of people know that. For the sake of time, there's two more questions. What's been the most what's been your favorite experience so far? And then any smaller favorite things you have enjoyed about the States?
My most favorite is just like getting to know my family over here. I mean, I got here and it happened right away. Like it was like we known each other all our lives, but getting to know them, hanging out with them. I hang out with them a lot. Like I feel like I don't need such a big group of friends here because I have so many cousins and I see them like daily. So that's been one of my favorite, and like, you know, some of the babies and watching them grow up. And like most of us are here in Virginia, but we do have some like down in Florida, cousins over there, got one in LA somewhere. So we're all over.
Did you have a large family in Australia?
Not really. It was just mom, her brother, my uncle, my grandparents, and just like, the few cousins there.
So this is a new experience for you. That's nice. And, you know, I feel like immigrants in this country have to be that tight knit anyway, because you're like starting a new foundation. So that makes a lot of sense to me. My stepmother, damn near her whole family came from Trinidad, and they're very tight knit. So
I think that even goes back to what you were saying about people not listening to you, but just they're listening to your accent, but not what you're saying. Your like cousins and all that stuff like that. You know that's not happening. You know that they're actually listening. So it's like I'd rather be around these people who are listening and also understanding me instead of just like tokenizing and fetishizing. You know, all those type of things. So I can see that also happening in that sense as well. I think that happens in the Black community at times too, even in spaces like let's just stick together, but it helps as well.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's you got that spot on. That's a very Ari, probably my closest cousin, she's like an aspiring voice actor, and like I'll be like teaching her how to pronounce some things. So I've been helping her with her Aussie accent. And like we'll be having normal conversation, she won't hear it, but then like sometimes I'll say something like very, very Australian and she'll like love it, and it's so funny to watch them like interact.
Let me write that down.
Can you do that again? I'd like to record. I think this is going to be the most important question, because I don't think I've ever asked you this before, so this would be a novel answer. How have you changed most since you've been here?
Yeah. Change for the better, I think. I feel like I was definitely having like an identity crisis in Australia. I feel like it was very needed that I come here, meet my family here, see where we came from. You know, I got to meet my grandmother over here. I mean, I met her as a baby, but listen to her stories, like stories of dad and my uncles and aunties when they were kids. I feel like I've even found myself more not just my Black side, but as also like being a proud gay man. I feel like I'm definitely more out and proud now than I was in Australia. And that's all just because I've seen very visible queer people out in the streets here and like very unapologetic. And I'm like, wow, I need to get like on their level for myself and like the other gabies.
The gabies!
Yeah.
It did come at a good time for representation. I think that at least is really true because what you've seen is not historically what my experience was. And I don't know about you, Devery, but like growing up, that was just not true for many of us. So I think you definitely came at a good time for LGBTQ representation.
For sure. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to point that out.
Very good. But yeah, no, like it's definitely helped on the both sides of my sexuality and my identity as a biracial person. I feel like maybe when I got here, I may have tried to been like throwing myself not too much, but just like a lot more into my Black side, and maybe like even a little tiny bit of resentment to my white side and that culture. Just because I was learning so much, like the conversations here just weren't happening back home in Australia. So I remember sitting in the street with Devin one night and we saw this interracial couple, white girl, black guy. And I was like looking at them and then Devin, I think, noticed me and he said like, oh, what do you think of that? Like, what do you think of interracial couples now that you're here? And I said like, oh, you know, they're gonna go home and make a little baby me. But also I'm kind of like, it's also like a kind of conflicting idea. Like, yeah, I want, you know, Black people to love other Black people as well as much as possible. But,
yeah.
You know, interracial couples is a whole other conversation as well. But no, I thought that was interesting. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I think that is important too. Making babies or making people that look like you as well. Like, yes, we want to have, you know, Black love and things of that nature, but also I would love to be transparent, see people that look like me as well. So I think because from your experience, I think that is valid. Like, if somebody did question you for being like, well, what do you know? But it's like, because I need representation as well. Like,
well, I was interested in because I mean, obviously he's been biracial his whole life, but that does mean something totally different in this country. So I was interested in how he viewed it after being confronted with the way that a lot of Black people feel about interracial relationships. I was really interested to see how he felt about it after some time here.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you say so? Your favorite you've been most changed as a family-oriented person? Is that accurate then?
Yeah, I definitely think I've found like how much I love family, like much more that I'm here. I feel like I never wanted kids before, and then now I'm here and I'm like, oh, like I think eventually, yeah.
I want a baby.
Do that for you.
Yeah, give me a baby.
Did you say Chloe?
He's got a little cousin. She's so cute.
Yeah,
yes.
My little cousin Chloe.
Child, I thought about Khloe Kardashian. Let me stop.
Girl.
I was like, what? Is this okay? To each his own. Listen.
Well, that leads us to the end of our episode. Reece, thank you so much for stopping by and giving us some of your time today. I was
Yes.
you did so well. You're so comfortable.
Oh my God. Not you
Reece
did
was
so well.
so shy when I met him. I'm not even kidding you. Like he just like when he met my friends from like home, we're loud and we scream over top of each other. And he was just like almost he looked like petrified.
Oh my
Shrinking.
God. Just like, this is something new. I look like teeth floating, y'all. I'm so sorry. I did not get up and turn my light on before we shot. So when you all watch this live, I look literally like teeth floating. So.
It's only in the last couple minutes, though. You've been fine, though.
I know.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you, Reece, for being on the show and just your observations and your thoughts and things like that. Being here is really important. Everybody has different thoughts and opinions and things of that nature. We really want to have everybody's opinions on the show. Like we always say, if people want to follow you on your social media, can you give that to us, please?
Yes, my Instagram is Reece, REECE .croft, like Lara Croft.
Co-writer.
Yes, that's me. But thanks for having me, guys.
Yes. And if you all would like to continue the conversation with me and Devin, you can hit us up on our Instagrams and Twitters or our platforms at, for me, _lordevery. That is _LORDEVERY on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can follow me on Instagram at derwinking. That's DERWINKING. And on Twitter at Free Negro. That's FREENEGREAUX.
And if you would love to continue the conversation on our podcast platform, you can hit us up at That Black Boy Joy on Twitter and Instagram. And if you would like to write in or be a guest or continue the conversation in our Gmail, you can hit us up at thatblackboyjoypodcast@gmail.com. And like we always tell you all, we are on YouTube as well. So please like, subscribe, comment, things of that nature with the visuals. And like I always say, be so in love with who you are and take care, everyone.